going to read a poem that I don't get a chance to read very often, but this is, I actually love this poem though. Tips for mothers raising young Black boys, or what Trayvon, Kamani Gray, Oscar Grant, Jordan Davis's, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, and countless others' moms want you to know. 1, he is not a boy, but a soldier, seen as fodder, forged in disapproving stares, floating crime-covered candy confections as enticement, future assumed iron cage or final steel, final sight cold steel, heated tempers and searing millimeter reminders that his enemy is a shapeshifter, able to assume any war. This is war. 2, play games with him. Teach him to strategize. Let him know that though you are queen of this castle and protect him with your life, he is seen as target, knocked over, endgame, so must know how to move. This, my dear, is chess. 3, love him enough to love yourself and his father, minding words that slip from your lips. You, his parents, first in line, DNA, legacy of leaders, scholars, astronomers, teach him his beautiful, untaught history, purposely hidden. Don't let him believe that Black began with slavery or equals the streets, or he is just like his father, said with the venom we have been known to spit, as if he could never reach for the stars as his ancestors did. This is how you build kings. Know that your soft is all he'll receive. And maybe too much for this harsh world, but be soft anyway. This is his refuge. 5, save all of his handmade Mother's Day and birthday cards. Mark your wall with his growth. Know that these records of development will sustain you in later years because they will show him how he once created beauty, how he used yellow, green, life, and loved to put the two of you together in pictures. You are always with him. This is his rainbow glory etched into your forever. 6, love him tombstone hard. Let him play continuously. Allow silly to top the to-do list. Resist making him grown man too early. Give him ice cream. Show him that chocolate, although glorious, is not everyone's favorite flavor. Let him bask in the frivolities of childhood, for 18, 17, 12 seems to be terminal these days. 7, those many sleepless nights, you shaped the clay into man. Rest and know that he is good. You have practiced, loved, reinforced, given examples. This is a test he must unfortunately take all on his own. Young men, when you make it past 18, 21, 35, you have experienced milestones, set records, suffered so many traumatic experiences. You are now generals. You've endured the battle royale and survived. This is your real life Hunger Games. Your fallen comrades wish that they could stand in your place. What will be your legacy? How will you change the world? You are a symbol of our resilience, a mother's love, a people's hope, and a nation's fear. Wake up, understand your power, and go make your mama proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Jay Simone, and I am humbled. One thing about when I hear Jay Simone read, I wish the damn night was about me too. It make me want to get out my book. I got a poem for that. Remember, Bernard used to do readings at his home, and we would sit around the table, just banging on the table.
Yes.
Like, I got a poem.
Yes.
I got. Wait a minute. Oh
like, what? Oh no, let's use that. Yes. Yes, it was great.
I
Oh,
love
I
it.
love those days. Goodness.
I love it.
I miss writing sessions and they're
Yeah.
just glorious.
What's the name of that one again?
It's Tips from Others.
Tips from Others. Mercy. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We unfortunately, the world makes our young men and women, our little boys and our little girls, that make them adults far too early. So
You know what's crazy? I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Callie the poet. I had an art opening last month, and I asked her to read, and the poem she read went into the fact that it just celebrated the fact that we were there gathered for a celebration and not to mourn my early passing, and how that's getting, especially now, but even before COVID, it was, just celebrations of black men for doing great things were beginning to get more and more scarce.
it's true. It's like
You lucky if you
everybody
get a
needed to
party for
have
getting
like
out of jail.
RIP shirts. Just put a
Yeah,
new face on it. Like everybody, just have a whole collection, because eventually you're gonna need a say his name, say her name, hashtag. It's it is tragic that we are here, that we are not celebrating our accomplishments as much anymore. Um, so
well,
I always want to do that. I'm like, I don't need a reason to party. Hey, let's get together
right.
for
Well, I
just
try and
because we're,
celebrate Jay
I'm
Simone.
sorry.
I said I
Yeah.
try and celebrate Jay Simone as much
Well,
as
thank you.
possible. Well, thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you. Um, all right. Well, as promised, let's talk about it because I forget where I was or when I was, but it was sometime after or just before I opened the art gallery where I said to myself, you know what? I can't really ask. This is the first time that I've asked you to be with me for a poetry event without opening my wallet for a minute. And
Yes, that's true.
listen, I'm a businessman as well, so it comes down to economics. So I know some people were like, "Well, he ain't never paid me. He ain't never paid me." But here's the problem: all I have to do is put Jay Simone's name on a flyer and say that she's coming. No, seriously, and say that you're coming. I got 10, 12 people who regularly when you bringing Jay Simone back. And so the
Thank you.
economics of it for me on my end is if you have that kind of following, it makes sense for me to open up my wallet for you.
And I love all of you. Thank you. I love you.
I think and I was like, look, it's only right. I got people like, when's she coming back? When's she coming back? Okay, well, you know what? If you wanted to come back, we can make that happen, and and you're willing to make a contribution too. So, it's all about following, and on my side, it's like this. I have a number of poets who and it's not a large number, but I should be paid, I should be paid, I should be paid, and I'm like, well, let's do the math. I have two radio shows. I've been published in Vibe the Sword. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, you know, I could book myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a following.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
Now, if
That's true.
nobody
I mean,
knows you, see, here's the thing: if you hadn't come to a couple of my events for free, then you wouldn't even have a following with my crowd.
that's true.
You know,
That's
but
very true.
but here's the thing that's dirty I don't like about Jay Simone. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a hater right now. I'm gonna say some hater stuff right now. I don't like the fact that you came to my art center where I pay rent, I bring the crowd, and by the time you got off stage, people like, yeah, thank you for putting this together, right? When you bringing her back? Well, I was here too. You always here, but when you bringing Jay back?
Well, I
I can
appreciate it.
laugh
I
about it
do.
though, because I'm really not angry. I want that. I really, you know me. I want that for every poet.
Mm-hmm.
I want every poet to be so dope and be so about their business that when they come and they perform for my audience, that they take some with them.
Yes. I always want that for every artist I meet. Just even if it's selfish and to inspire me, I always want them to have an amazing show. It just makes everything better.
It makes it.
Even if we're performing, it doesn't matter. It makes the show better and the audience receives that. And that's part of the reason we perform. I
Right.
mean,
And it's part of the reason we write because again, you I hate to keep saying it, you and I are on the same page when I'm in the presence of you and Bernard, I'm going to write better. I have to.
exactly, exactly.
That's basically the way it goes. But let's get back to the pay scale. First of all, you don't charge me what you should charge me. Thank you very much.
You
I'm
get the friend
grateful.
and family discount. You've been around for a long time. So not many people get that. Believe me. I've had some people like, you charge what? And I said, I said, you know what? And this happened many times, not to my own horn, but I've had people who've just heard of me and they're like, well, I don't think I should pay an artist that much. I said, okay, well, you know what? You don't. That's fine. You go ask about me. And
Right.
then they, maybe a month later, they'll come back. Okay, I asked and I have your money. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it because I'm not just going to show up. I'm going to bring the whole J. Simone experience. I'm going to let people know and I'm going to bring people with me. And you're going to have a lot more people than you anticipated. That's how it works.
And your crowd is going to have a good time. They'll come back when it's not a Jay Simone thing. You like, and I'm
Exactly.
speaking to what I know from my crowd. You know, yeah. So, uh, but here's the thing. Talk to me, and you kind of hinted around it. Talk to me about the power of saying no at this point in your life.
Well, I've learned there's a certain price point I have, and I don't get out of bed if you can't meet it. Like it's not worth my time. And it takes a while to do everything needed for a show. And that takes money too. So I can have a show at home or I can watch movies with my kids and bake something and cook and love the evening and not have to go to the event. And I wish you success, but I mean, no one gets up and goes to their job and say, "Oh, well, you know what? Y'all don't have to pay me today." But what? This is what I do for a living. This is
Right.
how I pay my bills. How I keep all of this voluptuousness in. This is how
Right.
I
Right.
do
Right.
it.
Right. Right. Listen,
So you have to say
I'm
no
mindful of the
sometimes.
fact that it took you time to get together for this Zoom call.
Exactly. You
I
can't
feel
say yes
bad
to
I just threw
everything.
on my
You
Muhammad
will
Ali shirt.
never. I'm sorry.
I said I feel bad that I just threw on my Muhammad Ali shirt.
It's fine. It's your show. You can show up however you want.
how
You
about
know how I'm going to show
how
up,
about
though.
that? Yeah. Well,
I'm,
and how about that?
you know me.
Uh,
So,
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Poetry, 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 and I'm here with the lovely Jay Simone on, unfortunately, the day where we lost the great hammering Hank Aaron. So if you're watching
yeah.
on Zoom, that's what's in my background. I originally planned to have this beautiful flyer that I put together for Jay as my background, but like I said, we lost the hammer today. And we're talking about the business and